What does a residency look like? Because I typically stay maybe a month and a half. It's like my max where I'll stay in one location. So that's probably where I don't have to run into like, visa restrictions and stuff like that. So walk me through what's a typical, okay, Jesse, you've been there for, 4 months. They're going to start looking for you. Like, are you still in the country? So what does that part look like?
Yeah, so it depends on where you're a citizen of. Most countries, just as a generalization, most Western countries will give you either 1 month, 3 month, or 6 months on a tourist visa. So right now you're in Brazil. You didn't have to physically go to a consulate or an embassy to get the tourist visa, but you're still on a tourist visa. There's just no physical documentation of a visa needed in your passport. But you can't stay there longer. I would assume it's probably 6 months. So if you absolutely love Brazil, you fall in love with the country and you want to maybe live there for the next year, or you want to be back and forth between the US and Brazil, then that's when we would start looking at some residency options for you. So in Brazil, you're looking at more so real estate investment options. And now that's one use case of a client who just falls in love with a country and wants to stay there. But there's another use case, which a lot of our clients are really more so seeking, which is diversification, meaning that there are some countries where opening a bank account as a non-resident, as a foreigner, is more straightforward than a lot of countries. Gaining residency is not going to require a half a million or $1 million investment in a business or real estate in that country. So it's more straightforward and streamlined of a process, or even living there for, I mean, a short amount of time is 3 to 5 years in order to gain citizenship. So that's when diversification options come in. And then you can really start looking at, okay, I'm going to get residency in these two countries. I'm going to have a bank account in these two countries to bank overseas from your home country to have some diversification. And then I'm going to start to work my way toward a citizenship. Now, you can purchase citizenships depending on the country and the price point that you're looking for, but that's only in about 11 countries in 2024 that offer that. So for the most part, you're going to have to work your way toward a citizenship, which means that you are spending time on the ground. You're integrating into the culture, the society, learning the language. You're really integrating to become a citizen of that country. So there's two different boats of people, one that really love the lifestyle and another who want diversification options. And we assist clients in both, but I see more so B over A.
Got it. And when we talk about diversification, your typical clients, obviously it depends, everyone's situation is different, but what have you seen? Are they like making X amount of dollars where they're like, all right, I don't want this all in one basket. Let's have a bank account over here. Maybe what's the reason of a bank account? Is it because the money can get stolen from a certain bank account in the States? I mean, we've seen Silicon Valley Bank, we've seen all these things happen in the last couple of years. So even in the States, we're not 100%, have belief in our banking system. So with that being said, what do your clients typically look like? Are they multi millionaires, or are they someone who's working a corporate job and still just want to, diversify a little bit overseas? Walk me through that.
Good question. And honestly, it's a range of absolutely everything, which I love because no two clients and their situations are the same. So we do work with a lot of entrepreneurs. And usually, when you want to start optimizing your residency portfolio, it's easier to do so as an entrepreneur because you can have your business set up in a place that makes sense for where you're staying and where you can optimize for taxes. And that usually looks like paying between 0 and 15% taxes, both personal and corporate. Again, that's just a generalization to give you a picture of numbers, but you can get it quite low if we're comparing that to Canada or the US and you're living there full time. So it's usually entrepreneurs. There are some employees or freelancers who are working for a company, and then they are looking to plan for the future and knowing that they're going to go off on their own. They're going to start freelancing. They're going to have their own business in the future. And they're looking to start planning for that now because processes and requirements for residencies are always changing. And even just in the last 6 months, we've seen quite a few changes where it's becoming more difficult, more procedures, and a higher price point to get these residencies. So I always recommend get in now if you're interested. But we work with some clients who are 20 years old making a few million a year, and then we work with some clients who are retirees who are looking to diversify because a common theme I will say that we see with clients is that they don't love the trajectory of where their home country, which is usually a Western country, where that country is going in the long term. I actually just had a call with a fund manager for Portugal Fund today for the Golden Visa. And she was asking me, like, where are your clients from? What are you seeing? Do you think that the elections in the US are going to have a big impact on if clients are going to want to continue having these diversification options or more so stay in the US? And my response and what I see through working with the type of demographic of clients that we work with is it doesn't matter who wins the election. The country and a lot of Western countries are going in one direction. And we really know what that direction is, regardless of which side continues to win now in the next 4, 8, 12, etc. years. And a lot of people really want to start diversifying their wealth, diversifying where they're keeping their money, not only in one government's back pocket, where yes, you can diversify between banks and country. At the end of the day, one country is going to be subject to all of your income and your wealth. And so really starting to diversify what that looks like.